Alright, let's talk about a movie that totally isn't controversial. A movie that totally everybody loves. There's no controversy about this movie at all. It's the most loved movie ever, so. What are you talking about, silly? No, we're talking about Star Wars The Last Jedi. Boy, what a mess this movie was. 2017 was already bad enough because of Justice League. It was a huge divide between the fans when that came out, and then same thing happened here with Star Wars. And I've rewatched it to get like kind of a fresh look on it now. So, is it as shit as everybody says? I wouldn't say it's like the worst movie ever made. It's definitely bottom tier Star Wars. I definitely have a lot of problems with it. But a lot of people just like say it's like a terrible movie and one of the worst blockbusters ever made. I don't know if that's completely fair. I mean, I'm not trying to defend this movie at all, but where do we begin here? Oh boy, oh boy. I guess I'll start off by saying, a lot of my problems. Let's just go by all the problems. Okay, General Hux. He's basically a cartoon character. He's getting thrown around. He's basically a joke. He's getting embarrassed by Poe with the little, for his mother joke that they make in the beginning. It's just cringy. General Hux I cannot take seriously at all. The dude is just not intimidating. He doesn't have any kind of presence, and it sucks because they got a good actor to play him. But damn, it just really wasted his character. He's just a cartoon character basically. And I think the biggest crime about this entire movie is Luke Skywalker. Now, Luke Skywalker, as you guys may know, is one of the most iconic and well-loved and respected characters in all of cinema, basically. I mean, he's Luke fucking Skywalker. And then as soon as we see him, he's throwing his lightsaber over his shoulder. And that's basically a big middle finger to the audience, I feel like. And also, why would Luke Skywalker attempt to murder his own nephew? I mean, it's like ruining his character in this movie. There's so much stuff in here that happens that's like an insult to Luke Skywalker and just feels like a huge middle finger to the fans of Luke Skywalker, which is very weird in a Star Wars movie. You'd think they'd be trying to pay him like his respect, his due, It's just like, this is what y'all do with him? This is just disrespectful. And you can even tell too, because even Mark Hamill himself has spoken out plenty of times about this movie, about how he feels that Ryan and him just had so many disagreements about Luke's character, and so many videos on YouTube, like by the Critical Drinker and just so many other YouTubers that are calling out, how shitty Luke Skywalker is in here. So I won't go too in depth about it here, but all I'm gonna say is that, man, they really ruined his character in this movie. He doesn't even feel like the same person anymore. Probably the only good Luke Skywalker scene they had was the one with Yoda and R2. I think the R2-D2 scene when he goes in there and he's like, "Oh, friend," I think that was a good part. But besides that, the rest of it is just like, damn. And he's not the only one they fuck over too. Chewie does nothing the entire movie. You got Chewbacca, the guy who's been there since the beginning, and he does literally nothing in this entire movie. There's no purpose for him going with Rey besides steering the Falcon. He just like kind of chills around and messes with the porgs. That's basically it. It's just like a waste of his time. And also, I don't like how, okay, Rey arrives to the island, right? And she's like, "Oh, you come aboard the Falcon, Luke Skywalker." And he's like, "Wait a minute, the Falcon? Where's Han Solo?" And then it cuts away. What the fuck, bro? Why would you cut away in that point? That is just stupid. We needed to see Luke Skywalker's reaction to that. I don't care what anybody says. That needed to be in the movie. We needed a reaction of Luke Skywalker finding out his best friend got murdered by Ben Solo. Because that would have been even more important to the story, because Luke's whole thing is, I failed Ben Solo. And that would have hit him even worse, knowing that he went and murdered his own father. I just feel like that's something they should have left in the movie. I don't know why they cut that out, but I think that was a huge mistake on Rian Johnson's part. And also Leia, I feel like they didn't do very well in this movie either. I mean, like, that scene where she's basically, like, Supermaning through space, it's laughable. It really is. It's just a terrible scene. She spends, like, the entire movie in a hospital bed, and then she wakes up for a little bit and kind of just stands around. That's all she does. Like, really, it's just about Poe, Finn, and Rey in this movie, which is fine, because that's what the new characters are, so I don't really expect the OT characters to be the main characters, but all I'm asking is for them to give the respect to the OT characters by having them actually do something in the movie, not just like stand around. Because I mean, they killed Han in the last movie, okay, and then Luke Skywalker, they ruined his entire character in this movie. Like, the only entertaining part about the entire film is Rey and Kylo's little dynamic they got going on. That's basically it. Besides that, like, Finn's story, the whole thing with him and Rose was just pointless and stupid. I don't understand why we had to go to Canto Bight, because it was a waste of time. So they never even get the hacker anyway, so... Like, they get him, but then he just betrays them, so it was like, the whole storyline was a waste of time. They really just wanted to give Finn something to do, and it was really stupid. And Rose is such an unlikable and stupid character, and so is Admiral Holdo, whatever kind of name that is. Her costume design is fucking stupid. It looks like kind of a feminist. And it's like, what the fuck? This is just out of place for Star Wars, and not the kind of stuff you'd expect to see in here, but hey, whatever. And her character is just really stupid. Because, like, she doesn't tell Poe the plan, and you never really understand why she didn't tell Poe the plan. Because it's like, okay, Holdo gets introduced, and Poe, he's very respectful. He comes up and he's like, hey, so what's the plan here? You know, we're kind of getting fucked in our ass right now. Do you think maybe you could tell us, you know, what's going on? She's like, this is literally what she says. She's like, fuck off, flyboy. We don't need you around here. Fuck you, motherfucker. You're a complete douchebag. Go fuck yourself. Like, what the fuck? She just starts insulting him. She's, like, mad rude to him for no reason. Just telling him, you know, we'd be better off without you. Like, what the fuck kind of leadership role is this, dude? So, she's a very unlikable character. Just very much, you know, I'm gonna tell you shit, motherfucker. And then she wonders why he ends up betraying her. Like, it makes no sense. Like, you can't just not tell him the plan and then be surprised when he takes things into his own action. After you just are just being a complete dick to him for no reason at all. As far as we know, I don't even think these characters have met before until this movie, because Poe literally says, you know, like, who is she? Oh, that's what she looks like. You know, he didn't even know who she was, so it's not like they had any kind of beef before this or anything, so, I don't know, I just felt very out of place. And then you got Rose, who, she's not, she's just cringy, the stuff that gives her to do. Like, we get all these little random animal abuse messages that pop up out of nowhere. I don't know, I really did not like Rose or Holdo in this movie. And then she kisses Finn at the end, which is kind of laughable, because she gives him his kiss, and it's like, why do they always have to make everything romantic with a man and a woman in a story? Like, why can't they just be friends? Why do they always have to be in a romantic relationship kind of thing? And I don't even go anywhere in the next movie. That was kind of like, yeah, that never happened. It was stupid. Like, there was no setup for any kind of romance in this movie between Finn and Rose, and then she just kind of kisses him out of nowhere, and ruins, like, his whole plan that he had. He was going to sacrifice himself and save the day, but no, Rose just had to save him so she can get that kiss. She wanted that big black cock, and then look what happened. She ends up passing out at the end of the movie, and after she kisses him, it's funny, because Finn just kind of stares at her like, you know, what the fuck? That was nasty. Why'd you do that? So I thought that was pretty funny. But yeah, I feel like Kylo Ren and Rey are like the best parts of this entire movie. I wish Kylo Ren had his badass helmet. I really didn't like that they got rid of that. I can see that was kind of like a real Rian Johnson thing. It can get a little weird though in the movie, because it's like Luke Skywalker, he breaks in on Kylo Ren and Rey, and they're having like this very weird the way they shoot it. It's like they're having hand sex or some shit. I don't know what's going on here. But they're like having sex with their fingers, and then Luke walks in on him. He's like, "No, stop!" And it's just edited so weird. It's like they're actually having sex, but like with their hands. I don't know what Ryan was going for there. Oh, and also, what's up with Rey trying to kill Luke Skywalker? Like that whole... Okay, let's talk about this for a second. So, Luke Skywalker, the guy who saved his own father, who was like the most evil man in the entire galaxy, he goes against his nephew because he senses he's already turned to the dark side. So Luke's solution here is to murder him in his own sleep. Do you see the problem here? None of that makes any sense for Luke Skywalker's character. He didn't even give up on his own father when he was the most evil man in the galaxy. You know, he refused to fight him, and then you're telling me he senses some darkness in his nephew, so he's going to murder him in his own sleep. Stupid. He didn't even try to murder him either. It's like he just... It's so weird, because like he went up to his bed, and he's like, yeah, I'm about to murder this motherfucker. Then he turns on his lightsaber, and he's like, you know what, never mind. And then Ben Solo sees it, and he's like, oh shit, this motherfucker's trying to kill me. And then he strikes him anyway with the lightsaber. I was like, he's like, okay, never mind, I'm going to actually go through with it now that I got caught. And then, it fails anyway. So it's just really stupid. The writing just makes no sense here. It's like they just needed to. They were trying to find a reason for Luke Skywalker to be a flawed character and fail, which is fine. But it's a stupid ass situation. Just makes absolutely no sense. It's completely out of character. It does not seem like something Luke Skywalker would do, and just feels like terrible writing, to be honest with you. Like they didn't know what they were doing with this character. But yeah, Rey almost kills Luke Skywalker over this. For some reason, Rey cares about Kylo Ren, even though she has no reason to care for this guy, because Kylo Ren just tried to murder her and her friends in the last movie. In fact, he murdered his own father, who was basically a mentor figure to Rey, the only father figure she ever had. He murders him right in front of her, and then in the next movie she's like, "Hey, yo, why'd you kill your dad, bro? That shit wasn't cool, man. Why'd you do that, yo? Why don't you come over to the light side, man? We can fix you up, man." And I was like, what the fuck? Like, she's over here going against Luke Skywalker over Kylo Ren, which makes absolutely no sense because, as far as Rey is concerned, Kylo Ren is the biggest douchebag in the entire world. And Luke Skywalker, she's excited by hearing his name. Just go watch The Force Awakens again. When Finn mentions Luke Skywalker, she's like, Luke Skywalker? I thought he was just a myth. She gets so excited, like it's her idol or something like that. Like she looks up to him as a very high level figure. And then she just turns on him on the flip of a dime just because Kylo Ren said, "Oh yeah, he tried to kill me." Like, even if that is true, why would you believe him? Just because he said that? Like, you think she'd at least be like, liar, no he wouldn't. He wouldn't try to kill you. That's not what Luke Skywalker would do. But she instantly believes him. It's like, oh shit, for real? Like, is Rey really that gullible and stupid? I mean, come on now, guys. Have some consistency here. But yeah, anyway, outside of that, there's basically no action in the entire movie until, like, the ending. And the action is kind of underwhelming in this movie. The little bit we do get. It feels like there's, like, a whole 30-40 minutes we go without any kind of entertaining action. Which is kind of weird for a Star Wars movie. Which, it's fine if they want to do that, but it's kind of boring. Because all they're showing us is just this shit on the spaceship where it's like, hey, yo, what are we doing? What's the plan, Holdo? And it's all this nonsense. That's just a waste of time. And then he wasting our time with Canto Bight, which goes pretty much nowhere. And then Luke Skywalker is supposed to be training Rey, which doesn't really go anywhere either, because does she really get trained? He didn't really train her at all. Besides just that little thing where it's like, yeah, you feel the Force kind of thing. That's all Luke Skywalker and Rey really do in this movie. So basically they showed us nothing. And then we finally get a fight scene, which personally I think was pretty cool, which is the throne scene with Kylo Ren and Rey. That's pretty cool seeing them team up. Some people are going to nitpick it, of course, because that is what people do with Star Wars movies. They nitpick the living shit out of it. But I thought it was pretty cool. It was entertaining. At least a lot more entertaining than all the other shit they were showing in the movie. But I don't know. I mean, the effects in the cinematography in this movie are probably the best in a Star Wars movie to date. Like, none of the effects really looked wonky or anything like that. And I thought that all held up pretty well. And the cinematography was really nice. There was some pretty cool shots in the movie. So I'll give Rian Johnson some credit there. But besides that, the writing in here is just terrible with the whole, trying to exceed our expectations kind of thing, which is really dumb. And then the fight scene at the end where with Kylo and Luke, it doesn't even really count as a lightsaber fight because I don't even think Luke Skywalker hits his lightsaber once because he's like, he's not even really there. He's just like projecting himself to Kylo Ren. So basically this is the first Star Wars movie without a lightsaber fight. Not counting Rogue One, I guess. Was there? I don't know. I don't think there was a lightsaber fight in there. Well, I don't count though because there's like no Skywalkers or anything like that. The only person with a lightsaber fight was Darth Vader, and even Darth Vader, having no one but himself, he still made it cool. It's literally just Darth Vader, and he still made a badass lightsaber fight scene. So yeah, I felt the action was a little lacking in this movie. I think The Force Awakens definitely has stronger action. Yeah, as far as my final verdict on The Last Jedi, man, I don't even know. This movie is just doo-doo ass. It's like, if I was held a gun to my head, if someone held a gun to my head and they said, just, watch this movie, if someone held a gun to my head and they said, watch The Last Jedi all day, 24 hours, you gotta watch this movie non-stop, I mean, I wouldn't like it, but it's watchable, kind of thing. It's, like, I can sit through it. I'm gonna have a lot of problems and be like, oh, here we go again with this Luke Skywalker assassination of his character kind of thing. But I mean, besides that, I guess the movie's not that bad. When it's focusing on like Rey or Kylo Ren, I thought that stuff was a little more interesting. Trying to make their own order and Kylo Ren wanting Rey to join him. Oh, that stuff was pretty interesting. But besides that, they're just wasting Finn with his useless subplot that doesn't add anything to the movie. And then you got all this stuff with Holdo and Poe on the ship, which takes up, I feel like, majority of the movie more than it needed to be. I really don't feel like this movie needed to be 2 hours and 30 minutes. They probably could have chopped a lot of it down. But hey, whatever, Rian Johnson. Make your long movie, man, with a lot of boring scenes. So, is The Last Jedi an awful dog shit movie? I mean, maybe. Kind of. It's pretty not that great, honestly. I can't name anything good about it, honestly. Like, Rey and Kylo Ren were good. Besides that, the action's not really all that there. So I can't really give it too much praise, honestly. So yeah, fuck this movie.